guys haven't joined me on my Instagram, Simple Sounds, come and look for me. I love putting faces with names, I sometimes see you guys leaving comments, but I have no idea who you are. So it's a great way to get to know you guys. I was raised disciples of Christ, and did I discover a new sound? But that's why I put that there. I think my grandmother gave me this. This Bible is really old. I really love it. I need to find a way to fix it. I'm not sure. With this paper, I could laminate it. Okay, let's get started. I feel like it's been a long time since I've done a chapter. I need to get to making more. Okay, chapter John 13. Jesus washes his followers' feet. It was almost time for the Jewish Passover feast. Jesus knew that it was time for him to leave this world and go back to the Father. He had always loved those who were his own in the world, and he loved them all the way to the end. Jesus and his followers were at the evening meal. The devil had already persuaded Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon, to turn against Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had given him power over everything and that he had come from God and was going back to God. So during the meal, Jesus stood up and took off his outer clothing. Taking a towel, he wrapped it. Around his waist. Then he poured water into a bowl and began to wash the followers' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. Jesus came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus answered, "You don't understand now what I'm doing, but you will understand later." Peter said, "No, you will never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "If I don't wash your feet, you are not one of my people." Simon Peter answered, "Lord, then wash not only my feet, but wash my hands and my head too." Jesus said, "After a person has had a bath, his whole body is clean. He needs to only wash his feet. And you men are clean, but not all of you." Jesus knew who would turn against him, and that is why he said, "Not all of you are clean." When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and sat down again. He asked, "Do you understand what I've just done for you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, because that is what I am. If I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you And so that when it happens, you will believe that I am He. I tell you the truth, whoever accepts anyone I send also accepts me. And whoever accepts me also accepts the one who sent me. Jesus talks about his death. After Jesus said he was very troubled, he said openly, I tell you the truth, one of you will turn against me. The followers all looked at each other because they did not know whom Jesus was talking about. One of the followers sitting next to Jesus was the follower Jesus loved. Simon Peter motioned him to ask Jesus whom he was talking about. That follower leaned closer to Jesus and asked, Lord, who is it? Jesus answered, I will dip this bread into this dish. The man I give it to is the man who will turn against me. So Jesus took a piece of bread, dipped it, and gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon. As soon as Judas took the bread, Satan entered him. Jesus said to him, the thing that you will do it quickly. No one at the table understood why Jesus said this to Judah. Since he was the one who kept the money box, some of the followers thought Jesus was telling him to buy what was needed for the feast or to give something to the poor. Judas took the bread Jesus gave him and immediately went out. It was night. When Judas was gone, Jesus said, now the Son of Man receives his glory, and God receives glory through him. If God receives glory through him, the God will give glory to the Son through himself, and God will give him glory quickly. Jesus said, my children, I will be with you only a little longer. You will look for me, and what I told to choose, I tell you now. Where I am going, you cannot come. I give you a new command. Love each other. You must love each other as I have loved you. All people will know that you are my followers if you love each other. Peter will say he doesn't know Jesus. Simon Peter asked Jesus, Lord, where are you going? Jesus answered, where I'm going you cannot follow now, but you will follow later. Peter asked, Lord, why can't I follow you now? I am ready to die for you. Jesus answered, are you ready to die for me? I tell you the truth, before the rooster crows, you will say 3 times that you don't know me. Life lesson, John 13:1-38. Situation. Jesus began to teach in the upper room that night before his death. He looked forward to spending this last Passover with his disciples. Observation. Jesus washed his disciples' feet, giving us a significant lesson in servanthood. If Jesus had an attitude to serve, certainly his followers ought to demonstrate a similar heart. Inspiration. What kind of life did those first Christians live? When they were together, they devoted themselves to 4 things. First, they gave themselves to the apostle teaching. That was everything that apostles had seen Jesus do and heard him say. Eventually they got it all written down. Now we call it the New Testament, or equivalent today of the apostle teaching would be Bible study. Second, they devoted themselves to the fellowship. That was simply being together for the joy of being together. Why draw your stimuli for life? They must have been thinking from non-Christians who have nothing to contribute, when you could be absorbing more and more of the life of Christ from within your Christian friends. This was no deliberate cutoff from worldling to be exclusive. Their fellowship was a strong base from which they reached out to others. But there was far more power for evangelism in this close-knit community that we find today. We, whose spirits are diluted by so much exposure to the world, even though we may say it's to win them for Christ. Third, they devoted themselves to breaking bread together. I'm sure this meant communion, but I think it meant other meals too. How did it happen? Well, I'll use my imagination. Here was Thomas with a room full of new believers in an home gathering. They were singing, praying, laughing together, sharing their trials and listening to Thomas teach. Finally, one of them slaps his forehead. "I don't believe it," he says. "The sun's gone down. I hadn't even noticed. The children must be starving." Everybody looks shocked and frustrated. The lady of the house says, "Oh, Thomas, just keep talking and I'll break out something for us somehow." My bet is that the meals just happened that way at first, and they added so much to the fun and close feeling, besides extending the time that they began to be planned for. Number 4 ingredient in their new life together, the prayers. That's right, the Greek has the article in front of it, and it's the same word as in Acts 3:1. One day, Peter and John were going up to the temple at the time of the prayers. In other words, the prayers were the stated times of worship at the temple, and all believers went together. No doubt, a lot of former activities had to go for the early Christians. They eliminated and they concentrated. They continually devoted themselves to the 4 things. Friends, let's check our lifestyles. Have we eliminated a lot of clutter from our lives so that we and the ones around us who want to go hard after God can give ourselves to Bible study, to fellowship, to eating together, and to the regular services of the church? From Discipling One Another by Anne Ortlund. Application. Host a party. Spend part of your time praying together. Have fun talking. Brainstorm with your friends of ways to help the church and community. Those first believers were so involved and so into accomplishing those 4 things, like the fellowship, the eating together, the praying together. We've completely lost our focus, and now our focus is on me. What am I doing? What am I going to do? It's all about me. Share with others. Hear what others are going through, what concerns them, what are their struggles. How can we help another person? And when you're in need, when you're in trouble, someone else can be there for you. And that's why it's so good to be part of a church and part of a family. Lord, help us just be able to get back into that fellowship, be able to get back into what you are wanting from us. But focus on the important stuff. Focus on the people and less focus on ourselves. And I pray for all of you that are watching this video, for you to extend yourself to someone. The challenge of the week: extend yourself to someone, talk to someone, find out what they're going through, what are their struggles. Say a little, hey, just know that I'm praying for you. Just know that I'm here for you. What would you want me to pray about? Okay, I'll pray for you. Just little things like that. And blessings will come. I guarantee you. That's how God works. God works like that. So Instagram, Simple Sounds. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you want to share any prayer requests that you might have here. Maybe we can do a prayer request video. Also, some people were asking to do a Q&A video as well. Let me know what you want to watch. Keep me posted.